Andersen.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to channel Andersen, and welcome to today's video. Realistically, it's tonight's video for me because it's like midnight. You guys are gonna see this in a few hours probably, but anyways, there is something that we got a little while ago. You guys saw when it arrived. Actually, we need to open it up. Our headers that we're gonna try to slap on the C55, silver C55, OBX headers designated for E55 long tubes. We gotta see what these look like. Let's jump right into it. Pop open this box, see exactly what we got. And as a side note, this is officially done. Waiting for Saturday morning for Mike to get over here so we can take it on his first drive. It's kind of tradition at this point. Him and I take first drive together after Mano Swap. This is our third one we've done. So anyways, that's exciting tangent news, but let's get into this. Box cutter, get ready. All right, nothing else to do but just cut. I'm gonna try to keep this box somewhat intact so I can keep it somewhat stored for the time being, since I got all kinds of stuff in the garage. But let's see if that was enough for us. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. See something. Okay. All right, let me lay a blanket out and I can set these down on the ground for us. Alright guys, well there it is, and my first impressions, honestly, this doesn't look too bad. I mean, again, I paid $343 for these with shipping, like literally just under 500 bucks. So, I mean, for what I paid, these are phenomenal. If I paid the original price that people paid for these, maybe I'd be somewhat happy. I don't know, but honestly, these don't look bad at all. Welds are passable, I would say. I mean, I am no welder, and I probably have no right to speak on this, but they're all there. I don't see any, gaping holes or anything. I think it would be a good idea. I'm seeing a little bit of sketchiness over there, but it probably would be a good idea to bring this over to my buddy George to kind of inspect all the welds and redo what he sees needs some attention. So I'll probably plan on doing so. But I mean, these look great. $500, I am happy. And as you guys can see, it's not just the long tubes. It also comes with a pretty substantial length of the exhaust. And if you look kind of next to the C55, this is pretty close to where the headers would actually be. So you can see how much of the exhaust will actually be, taken care of on the car. It's probably going to be close to, the beginning of the rear tire, or at least a little past center section on the car. Now, how this all is going to fit, I'm not exactly sure. Ground clearance wise, I'm not exactly sure. But my silver C55 is not low by any means, so I think that'll give us a good fighting chance. And we can always modify what we need to on here overall. But now, what I know about adding long tubes on the NA M113 5.4, you'll typically gain a good 30-40 horsepower, depending on tuning, etc. we got the best tuner in the game, so I already know Josh is going to be able to squeeze every pony possible out of the C55, so I'm super excited about that. The exhaust that I have on it right now is basically stock headers, primaries, cats are still there, and then it goes to secondary cat delete. It still has a resonator, and then it's basically just dumped at the differential. With this, I'll plan on probably obviously just sticking with the long tubes, and then somewhere around this section or behind it, I would like to throw a set of like 400 cell or 200 cell metallic cats onto it, just because the smell is kind of insane with no cats, as I've learned on the CLK55. So we'll see how it does and kind of game plan it from there. But my buddy George and Jose, who did the exhaust on the C36, are over at a shop not too far away from me. So I'll definitely have them be the ones to kind of help me game plan once I get the majority of it installed and kind of fit up. And then from there we can decide what I want to do to kind of finish out the rest of it. And most likely I'm not going to reuse any of the factory stuff that's on the C55. Most likely we'll see what exactly happens, but yeah, that's all the pieces you get. So we got the 2 long tubes, 2 connectors right there, your little crossover pipe, or I guess it's like an X pipe pretty much, and then you get 1 extra piece down here, and then a flange back here. I'm a much bigger fan of V-bands, so I'll probably plan on picking up some V-band setups instead of these. These are not terrible, but I think much better to throw on a V-band, especially because that's probably trying to mate up to whatever original E55 exhaust flange, and that's non-existent on the C55. So in here you got all of your clamps and whatnot. I'm not going to take it out of the bag just because I don't want to lose anything, but looks like we got all the joiners, clamps we would need for the connections that I see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 potentially. So I think there is 2, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5 in here. So should have all the hardware for clamping these down. You could always weld it up depending on what you want to do, or like I said, V-bands in certain areas, depending on how you want to install and how easily removable you want to make it. But those will be pretty nice. I'm kind of glad slip fit, and the fittings are actually, these are like nice and tight. Like you're gonna have to really snug these on, which is great. And then once you clamp them down, should be leak free. So gaskets wise, I'm definitely gonna stick with the OEM gaskets. I don't even know if these came with something. Yeah, they did, but everybody knows, or you should know by now, don't use this type of gasket. These things blow out. They're like very thin, like almost like a paper composite metal, and these things just don't last. So these are definitely not going on the car. I'll reuse OEM gaskets. It would be nice. I don't know if somebody does make a 1-piece gasket aftermarket for these, so maybe I'll have to search around. But the OEM gaskets are individual, so they're 1 per cylinder and separate, 4 separate pieces. So I'll have those on hand, and I guess I'll keep an eye out to see if somebody does make a 1-piece gasket like that, or flange exhaust gasket, whatever you want to call it. So now, time frame wise for this, I don't really know for sure. I do have a week off next week, so it would be cool. It's kind of very hypothetical, but it'd be cool to try to test fit these at that time, or maybe try to install them at that time. And I would also like to try to get the differential installed possibly next week, just because I have the downtime. This thing should be out of the garage, and it'd be nice to kind of get these 2 projects done on the Silver C55 before we start pulling in the coupe for hopping back into Benzin on a budget and pulling the motor and transmission out of the coupe, etc. So that shouldn't take too long, to be honest. So I'm okay with maybe waiting a few weeks before starting it, if it means that we can get this done and the differential on the C55. That would be fantastic, and that way C55 would pretty much be ready for autocross and track plans that I have for spring and summer. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna keep this video too long, guys. This is kind of just a check-in and update and getting a chance to unbox these things with you guys, because they've been sitting here and I'm like, why haven't I opened these yet? And realistically, it's just because I was compartmentalizing, finishing this thing before I touched anything else. And now that it's done, it's literally all bolted up. Everything is good to go on it. Well, temporarily, obviously we're gonna have to drive it and check it and do all that stuff. But as far as finishing what needs to be done, it's finished. So that should be out of here soon. Got to get a set of tires for it, and we'll be driving it. So that can be outside of the garage. We'll have plenty of room. I can park the C55 right in the middle. So I got all kinds of space to work and figure this out, see if we can make this work. From what I see pattern-wise, like the layout of this, it should fit. I mean, we might have to do some hammering on the driver's side, but I'm hopeful. And especially because Kleeman, their long tubes, they list all 55s as fitting. OBX does not. They listed these as like, you know, E55, CLS55, CL55, all that stuff. But they did not list C55. But again, if these fit on those, then they should fit on the C class. There's going to be subtle differences, obviously, or big differences. We'll find out. But I'm hopeful. I'm like 90, 95% we're going to be able to make these work, and it'll be amazing if we can. So it'll be nice to refresh everything, all the exhaust studs and nuts and everything. I'll be definitely spraying some penetrating fluid on everything days ahead of time to make sure we can try to avoid any stuck, you know, studs or nuts, etc. But that is it, guys. A nice exhaust system, especially when you factor in the price point. I will not complain about this one bit. Some people, the only like real bad complaints I've heard about these is some people complained of corrosion and other people would complain about the welds. As far as fitment goes, I've heard from all kinds of people with like M111s, what is the later 4-cylinder supercharged, I always forget the name of it, M271, I think. They make headers for those things too, and a few of those guys chimed in and said they fit great. They've been running them for years, no issues. So maybe I'll think about doing like a coating on these, or you know, some exhaust paint. I'm not going to wrap them because that's going to make them bulkier and make them harder to fit, but maybe we could do some type of Cerakote or something on them to make them last, and figure out what we need to. So that is all. Please let me know down in the comments if you are excited to see these things installed. Let me know if you were able to snag the deal. I tried to send it as soon as I found it so that you guys could have a chance to pick a set of these up yourself. There's still a few out there on Walmart. That's where I got them from. I think I mentioned that, or if not, from my short a while ago when I first found it. It was Walmart, $343 and $100 shipping. And they had these, they had a few variations. These are OBX. They also had Becker, which they're all the same. They're just different branding. There's also variations with like some cats on them. There were C63 headers. Like I said, the 4-cylinders. There was M112 shorty headers that looked amazing. A couple of people picked them up that I shared with. So yeah, there's just a lot of good deals to be had inside of that little realm in a short time span. And from what I know, the reason being is OBX went out of business and basically liquidated all their old stock to Walmart, it sounds like, and probably other people too. But yeah, I mean, overall, guys, these things look pretty sweet. A few little dings on them from shipping around. They were definitely some holes in the box, but hey, they made it here in one piece. I will not complain. And like I said, fingers crossed we're going to be able to get these to work. So again, let me know if you're excited down in the comments. Let me know what you guys have been up to on your cars, and hope you guys are also excited to see this thing behind me finally finished, and hopefully that video series will be out soon. So that's it. Enjoy you guys Fridays. I will catch you guys after the weekend, and thank you as always for watching. Peace.